It is not competitive REL.
It's a good
I did not have to turn on the deck list.
You're already disqualified. You don't know it yet.
Yep.
Oh, where am I?
Yeah, but why don't you, oh, you are number one again.
It doesn't look like we're losing too many frames.
Yeah, it's very not updated. The website's not even up to date.
No.
How am I supposed to find out where I'm at? It's a real question.
You are. Don't worry about it. You're in bottom 16.
You're in the top 16. That's all that matters.
I'm here all the time. I'm not even in
I mean, you're also not here like 3 times a week.
I'm not even close to 16.
Hey, I played in 2 events yesterday.
One of them is
Make sure to adjust the player names.
Double check that. Yes.
Although the points you get are based on. First hits 3, second, third, fourth hit 2. Everyone else gets 1.
Thanks,
What are you
buddy.
playing?
He's gonna be annoyed with that.
I roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna end this quick like
You hear that? You're gonna have to end you quick, David.
You know how you get it really quick.
Not play this deck?
You're not gonna play with face.
Well, I need to end this quick.
I mean, that is quick.
I could play deck really fast and I accidentally played it. I already took that.
You kind of looked at it funny, and if anyone looks at it funny, it just kind of.
I just saw the ball.
Well, that's more information than you're supposed to have.
I'm gonna keep.
How can you know when technically see?
Cody, it's Heidi.
Yes. It gives you information about it.
Arrow?
I don't notice that you saw the ball.
Just
That'll do it.
That'll do it. I'm not gonna.
Leave that card.
We're looking. NAHIR.
All right, hello and welcome to the D20 stream. I'm your host Harry Fogel, and we're gonna start round 1 of Modern today with Eddie versus Dimitri. Eddie on Just Guy Nahiri. It's a really popular deck now. What?
Sound more excited.
Huh?
Sound more excited.
It's golf.
I'll keep.
All right, so we got Just Guy Nahiri, which is a really cool new deck that we saw at the Grand Prix, since the Grand Prix, and then Blueback Mill also performing well at the same tournament. So Eddie's gonna start us out in the sense that he's playing the first spell of the game with a Thought Scour.
It's a free card right there. That is true.
So he's gonna decide whether or not. Okay, so he's gonna keep 1 on top, 1 on bottom, and then passes the turn over to Dimitri. So Blueback Mill has always been a deck that's on people's radar, but it really didn't start showing results until it beat Red Green Tron in a feature match. So there he's playing Glimpse the Unthinkable, which is a blue and a black. Target player mills 10 cards, or puts 10 cards from the top of his or her library into his or her graveyard, and it's a sorcery.
Got it.
Alright, so
Really think that's gonna
looks
work?
like he passes over to Eddie. Eddie.
You have a shriek.
So the elephant in the deck here, so to speak, for Dimitri is going to be Imracool. So as soon as he hits Imracool, that is going to shuffle all of Eddie's cards back into his deck. So presumably, in most lists I've seen, Dimitri will have a way to exile it at instant speed, such as Extirpate or Cranial Extraction. But we'll see. So he's milling some more. Got a lot of action there. Okay. Not seeing the Emrakul just yet. And then fetches at the end of turn down to 17.
I can hear.
Let's see. Eddie says he can hear me. We'll He's a big loser.
We could, no, there's not music playing, so if you want to just.
Okay, cool. So yeah, just to make sure that they can't hear me because we were waiting on our 100-foot XLR cable, so that we don't run into this exact problem.
Yep.
All right, is that better, guys?
Does that go for the?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he answered me, so clearly it's not.
6, 7,
All right. Now I don't know what's going on. I'm just looking at Spotify.
Archive trap.
But oh, Eddie got archive trapped, presumably in response to the fetch. All right, so back to the game. So he goes a basic island, passes turn back to Dimitri. Now, if Dimitri calls for a card count, we're gonna see how many cards are left in Eddie's deck.
Go ahead.
10.
Okay. So Dimitri played a ghost quarter and said pass. Now, Ghost Quarter has some fun synergy in that deck because I imagine it runs Mind Funeral and similar effects. So having them search out and land makes those cards just slightly more potent. In addition to the usual benefit of Ghost Quartering somebody. And so Eddie passes over to Dimitri, who draws, and
Okay, I'll tap him for green.
his land taps 3.
That's not what it is.
He casts a card.
You got it.
Dimitri, what did you just cast? That's I believe you search target player's library for 3 cards and exile them. It has a kicker cost of 7. If the kicker cost is paid, you look for a bunch more cards.
Is he indestructible right now?
What's that draw? I just needed one card.
I get another one. Yeah.
That will never happen.
Not in blue. I don't have any white mana open and mana side. He can't wreck you with mana side. He's playing elves. What makes you think he'll ever not have at least one mana?
Me not drawing a single cascade.
That'll do it.
I'm like, oh, yeah.
Cody.
I've got one person in. I can do it.
I couldn't see.
You only need 3.
All right, back in the game.
Draw the mana side. What you gonna do? That always starts good. Okay.
So Eddie's turn. Got very few cards left. Dimitri always brings some really creative decks here.
Well,
It is a cube.
Right there, he discards the Emrakul, and so the Emrakul shuffle trigger is now on the stack. So Emrakul is a singleton in this deck, and they're
Surgical extraction.
okay. Cast surgical extraction action, but Eddie responds.
I'm guessing you have
Okay, Eddie goes to 16.
This is gonna be excellent. That's right.
Those are resolved. He's going to target.
Okay, gets a Snapcaster Mage,
Cast Melee.
targeting Mana Leak and casting it. Targeting surgical extraction. Looks like Cody's adjusting, possibly to compensate for the glare. Okay, and so then the Emrakul trigger is gonna resolve, and Eddie will shuffle his graveyard back into his deck, which is gonna be just brutal for Dimitri here. But I'm sure we'll see some more. And there's the archive trap. Yeah, the fetch in response to the archive trap, presumably. Archive traps on future turns. Okay, gets the steam vents.
So 13.
Okay, so he's milling 13, so lightning bolt, Remand, Unswept Teeth, Visions, Nahiri, Plains, Emrakul. Okay. And then another Emrakul trigger, second Emrakul trigger of the turn. That's oh man. Well.
Go to my turn.
Yeah. White.
That was. Hang on. Is that your turn? I don't remember.
Alright, we're figuring out whose turn that was, and it was indeed Dimitri's turn, so we're gonna go to Eddie's untap. And he's gonna get in with that ambush viper beat.
Good.
Okay, and it's gonna put Dimitri down to 24. Tap. Play Ashiok. Oh wow. That is sweet. That is super sweet. So +2, and he's gonna exile the top 3 cards. And then Ashiok's shtick is that it can its -X ability allows it to play creatures exiled with Ashiok. So it's a -X and an X is its converted mana cost. Alright, so that crab is getting electrolyzed.
I don't think technically it's
Then he's gonna draw some more cards. Some cool things. Ashiok's pretty sweet here. It's kind of unassuming because Eddie doesn't run a lot of creatures, but if he nicks that Emrakul, then his clock becomes a lot better because that's Eddie's lifeline in this matchup. But also, if he mills with Ashiok, Snapcaster Mage, he can -2 Ashiok and get a flashback. Like glimpse of the unthinkable or archive trap or something. Alright, looks like he's going to get in there with Snapcaster Mage and then finish off the Ashiok with a lightning helix. Okay, he says draw go. Eddie untaps. It's in there for 2. Alright. And then there's the Nahiri.
+2. Discard card.
+2 Nahiri to rummage, discard a card, draw a card. So in 2 turns, if Nahiri is left unchecked, Eddie could get a hasty Emrakul in play, which could mean the game for Dimitri. And very likely does mean the game for Dimitri. So looks like Eddie is taking the initiative with his bolts and bolting Dimitri down to 21.
+2.
Plus his 2 Nahiri down to 8, or up to 8 rather. Alright, so Dimitri is now at 16. Alright. And then there's the Nahiri Ultimate. Okay. I'm gonna get out a hasty Emrakul.
Go combat.
Moves to combat, and okay, and now here's alright.
Basic land.
Scoop phase. Alright, so that Emrakul pretty rough for the mill deck.
And that
The worst card in Cody in my matchup right now though is Glare
glimpses, and I had
from the light. That's pretty
blue white fetches in my
pretty rough. We will certainly fix that in between rounds.
my red duels. So I couldn't
But-
get any red mana.
Man, that is a really exciting matchup. It's kind of this game is kind of shows like the fluidity of Modern. It's kind of nice. Like, you know, there are these two. Like, Mill isn't a new deck, but it's a deck that's newly showing results.
There are a couple.
Or maybe it just spiked that Grand Prix. But all I know is that it was great to watch it destroy Tron. I think we all could agree there, even Tron players, that I don't know, it was just satisfying, you know, because Tron's just like one of those big guys on the playground, and then just having this like, you know, Revenge of the Nerds almost, like, you know, everyone's like favorite little like pet deck that's almost there came in and just like showed up what was what on camera. It was just, I don't know, it was nice. It was a heartening story. Alright, so on Dimitri's side, we're probably going to see quite a bit of sideboard action against that Emrakul. So things like Relic of Progenitus, things just like deal with that. Just deal with the graveyard in general. Alright. And Cody's gonna start playing his Lord of the Rings, not Lord of the Rings, his Magic the Gathering playlist, and it's like some pretty cool stuff. I'm pretty excited. Alright, and so it's gonna block these cheaty McCheaters from hearing me give away potential plays, although it is very unlikely that I am going to notice anything if they don't. But playing it safe, you never know.
I'm just trying to keep you off the damn right now.
And they're sideboarding.
Yes.
Look at
I want to draw.
Or maybe.
I know. I got a whole deck to see. Buy new sleeves.
Right, now I'll be intrigued to see what Eddie brings in against Dimitri here. I'm not sure
I was tilted.
what he is. He's probably just taking out some of his removal because it's a little dead in this matchup.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I think my hand is
See, L-E-L.
Perhaps some more counter magic, probably some negates.
I mean,
Man, Dimitri on Ashiok is very spicy. It's going to be really good against. Basically, you need to like Tarmogoyf deck. Just like decks that are like. I'd love to see that against Kiki Core or Malirapod, for example. I think that would be very fun. That'd be really sweet. So there's a living in player in this tournament, and I am very intrigued to see how the matchup between
tell him I'm dropping.
between living in and blue-black mill.
Because slow enchantments has no way to win against elves.
Because I don't know if
It didn't.
it would just living in would just get like. I'm inclined to believe that living in would just destroy it because you just get out every creature in your deck and then just
Oh, that was
Fulminator Mage them into oblivion and just like
That's just a bad matchup.
do that, or just hit them with all of your like guys.
Not very likely going
I can only imagine all the ETB triggers on like like if they only have like 20 cards left in their library, so they like put in like upwards of 15 creatures or something. Just all those like triggered. That would just be a nightmare.
Okay.
I can only imagine the screen on
Keeping in mind, you
TGO.
probably don't have the mana to attack more than one or two things a turn anyway. So I mean, it doesn't matter if you
Dat
have only got
stack,
two things. You're just gonna beat
if you will.
4 or 5 or whatever.
I think I'm just.
I mean, at some point you're just gonna start.
How does that work against Ghostly Prism?
What? You have to pay 2 mana to attack. Or Ghostly Prison?
Oh, okay, never mind.
Ghostly Prison, you have to activate. You have to pay 2 to activate.
Looks like Dimitri's done sideboarding, but Eddie's still tweaking his strategy a little bit.
Being able, if I don't want to pay it.
What?
Ghostly Prism says creatures can't attack unless they pay 2.
Yeah.
So if card says attack is able, I don't have to pay it.
Oh, right.
It's true.
Okay.
Because some creature is no longer able to.
So I can just keep it.
Even if I have the mana. Can't force me to tap it.
Sorry.
Hey John, are you sure that's correct?
Huh?
Have you looked that up?
I have not, but I'm pretty sure it is. Sure it is because if Ghost of the President in play, they can't force someone to pay 2 to attack.
Is that okay?
Yeah, if there's a cost associated, then
You're gonna be on
are
play.
supposed to. They can.
You got me there.
Okay.
Go.
Actually, surprise.
Okay, game 2 is underway. We're gonna start out with a tapped watery grave and an arid mesa from Eddie. Pass turn. Okay, we're gonna see a shock, 2, possibly a glimpse of the unthinkable here. Oh, not a glimpse of the unthinkable. That is a mesmeric orb. Whenever a permanent becomes untapped, that permanent's controller mills a card. So what Eddie could have done here is taken a shock. So it just kind of shocks a little aggressively to avoid milling a card. So that's going to be a mill trigger there from untapping the steam vents, but I guess he's just playing a little
It's specifically
Yes.
for
It's there, it's there.
Supposed to be right. What do you want me to do?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just saying, okay. Oh my gosh.
So shuffle it.
Huh?
Good.
Okay. Mill's the Immercool. First mill of the game is Immercool.
I'm debating whether if I want
But he was tapped out and apparently didn't have the
So drop a turn.
the cranial extraction. He could perhaps still have extirpate or another effect like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be Scalding Tarn from Eddie. Okay, and so Mesmeric Orb is a symmetrical effect, so that's going to affect Dimitri as well, but obviously not to the same effect. It's affecting Eddie because you know Eddie's not actively trying to mill Dimitri out. Okay, and so there's the blue retreat. So you hide away a card, so you look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 exiled underneath it, and then you can pay blue and tap it. And this is true for the entire cycle. The cycle have different like things that they check to see like what activates them. So that one is if your opponent has 20 or more cards in their graveyard, I believe, or 20 cards in the library. And then you get to cast the spell that's hidden away underneath it for free. And then he follows up with a glimpse at the unthinkable. Okay, and Eddie's gonna remand that glimpse of the unthinkable.
Cycle.
Okay,
Exile someone's big one.
and mills 2 cards.
Cascade.
All right, Eddie plays a land tapped and says pass turn. And Dimitri's just checking out some cards in his graveyard.
My turn.
There's the super spicy Ashiok there.
Look at the top 3 cards.
Okay, and that's the Delirium card, the blue one from the most recent set, Shadows over Innistrad. So when it nears the battlefield, target opponent mills 3. Oh no! During each opponent's upkeep, that player mills 3 cards. And if you have Delirium, it does that during each opponent's upkeep. I believe. I think I butchered that. Whatever. It mills 3 on ETB, and then if you have Delirium, it does it during each opponent's upkeep. Okay, and then Pithing Needle.
Go to attack.
Naming Nahiri, it looks like.
You have delirium.
Dimitri, did you name Nahiri with Pithing Needle?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to confirm it.
Taking it.
Okay, that seems pretty good.
And step.
It's one of those.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, and then. I think Eddie predicted this or decided it in from his Merrick orb, but he has the wear
You had some
for the orb.
You're at 5.
So he's gonna mill a land, a lightning bolt, and another land.
Drop a turn.
Okay, and then so he milled for orb and milled for scribe because Dimitri is delirious right now. So there's the Nahiri from Eddie.
+2. Discard card.
And it's gonna get +2'd. So Eddie's gonna rummage. He's gonna discard and draw.
No, I'm not
Are
gonna
you
cast
sure
it.
you don't want to cast
Yeah, I'm
it?
not casting it.
Sure.
I am positive.
Okay, fair
What's in,
enough.
what's in your graveyard?
Nothing.
Lava Mancer.
And I have nothing.
I would like
Okay.
to kill five creatures.
Yeah, I could put
So Dimitri plays a land,
one creature in my graveyard.
and then there's Ashiok, Super Spice.
Oh.
Oh no! One of the oh wow. We're gonna see if that Ashiok gets to -15 and bring in an Emrakul. I think I think that'd be
Here we go.
pretty absurd. Let's see if Eddie can win the hard way here.
Cascade. I knew what your card was.
Okay, there we see a sideboarded Geist of Saint Traft. Probably just to increase his clock.
I didn't know if he had
that would've been.
I didn't know if he had the land in his hand.
Discard card.
And I didn't.
Okay.
Like I said, I was like not worried about him going off.
Right here he's gonna go to 8, and he's gonna pass turn. So now his lifeline is gone. The Emrakul that was protecting him. It's under a mean old Ashiok who's sitting pretty at 5 loyalty.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why I brought Jump Charm. I can exile it for here. I'm just looking at it.
No, they're playing modern over there.
Okay, then we're gonna see a Mind Funeral. It's a great name for a card.
Even though it could delay the game.
Sometimes you got
Alright, and Eddie casts Cryptic Command Counter Draw, which is a wise move, in my opinion.
You could also just draw up to 8 and then just
Yeah. Draw 8, discard it. Of course, I
Yeah,
had
Shaq's gonna
graveyard
get
8.
+2 and see 2 lands and a Serum Visions.
If I'm facing a really heavy aggro deck,